I think so. I think it's really advantageous to live in a metropolitan because then you can find everything you're looking for in your corner. And the city is alive for like 24/7. You can go anywhere whenever you want. The public transportation is open all day, all night. I think it's a very important thing. I always believe that people should go out of their comfort zone for a little bit. And I think it's really important to live by yourself. I think everyone who visited Turkey at some point would agree that we are hospitable people. I mean, we love guests every time. And in Turkey, as I said before, especially in Istanbul, it's an amazing place to live for students because it's exciting. I mean, there are lots of things to do. If you start discovering, you cannot finish everything in a year.
Hello, welcome to the first educational podcast in Turkey Campus podcast. As you know, in our podcast we are sharing some information by our special guests about their success stories and life in Turkey and generally the students' experience in Turkey, and we also getting to know the Turkish university more. Today we have Mrs. Şeyma Kabak from Estiniya University, the International Relations Specialist. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you very much for coming and accepting the invitation. So how are you? How are you doing?
Thank you. Everything is okay. I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So how was the road? You said that it was crowded, right?
Yes, there was a bit of traffic, but it's still a general problem of Istanbul, so it's okay.
Yes, it's a big problem with Istanbul. If I have my own car, I would rather to ride the metro bus or metro than
exactly. Public
driving
transportation is the key to everything here.
It's very difficult. Yes. So can you have a little bit more information about yourself? Where did you study? Originally, where are you from?
Of course, I'm Şeyma. I'm 24 years old. I have studied political science and international relations at Marmara University. And I'm working at Istiniya University as a specialist. I think it's been about a year. It's my 51st week. So next week is my anniversary. And yes, I'm from Istanbul. I was born here, but my father is from Bursa. But I've never lived there, but I visit my relatives sometimes there. And I think that's about it.
Great. So let us talk a little bit about your university life. You've studied in Marmara University. International relations and political science,
yes.
Right? Okay. So why did you choose the department? How did you choose it? Because most of people they are having some pressure by their families to study medicine or engineering.
Exactly.
So meeting people who are studying a political science or international relations or even economics, I'm a little bit confused. Why did you choose this? Was it hard?
I mean, I was always interested in social sciences, so I didn't have much of a choice between medicine and international relations, really. But I was thinking about choosing psychology, actually. I was interested in that area, but later I thought, I think international relations is relevant to everything in the world. I mean, when I study international relations for 4 years, I've learned so much about culture, other countries, politics, everything. So I thought that I can use it in my life more than the stuff in an other department. That's why I chose it.
Yes. Are you still studying psychology by your own? Are you reading books about it?
Yes, I'm reading some things sometimes when I have the time, but I think psychology was not a good fit for me. I understand that right now because in order to deal with people's problems, you need to be a bit strong in that area. And I mean, I would have been affected a lot, I think, by listening to people's problems and their traumas. So I think I made a good choice there by not studying psychology.
Actually, originally I've studied engineering in Turkey, but before choosing engineering, I was thinking about studying psychology in any university because I was I wanted to understand more people's actions and more people's body languages and more about their psychologies, what does they think and everything. And then I was just nah, it's not worth it because I'm watching the psychologists and their works, and then I'm thinking in the night that these people have nightmares when they go home, and maybe they can't even sleep, so it's very hard. But choosing international relations department is very like cool, I think, cool thing.
Yes.
So, but are you like a more social person, or are you introverted, or
Well,
what?
I mean, I believe that I'm a social person because I love meeting with new people. I have lots of friends. I always like to go outside. So I think I'm a social person. And for this job, I mean, we are traveling a lot all the time. So I really love that part because it's really interesting to see another country, another city, meet new people from there. It's always great for me. And like meeting new friends from different countries, it's amazing.
Yes,
so I
great.
think
So where have you been? Like
I mean, for the last year, I went to Azerbaijan, I went to Morocco, Algeria, and where else? I went to some cities in Istanbul, other cities in Istanbul.
Okay.
And next week, I mean, this Friday, I will go to Qatar. It's my first time there. I'm really excited about that.
You've never been in any like Arabic speaking country?
Yeah, no, except for Algeria and Morocco, but I spoke French there. So it's my first time, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, actually, as an Arab person, I don't understand Algerian people, or like even.
It's really different, right?
It's really different, and they are like generally speaking French, or the ones who speaks like Arabic, they are also using some French words in the middle of the conversation. Exactly. So I'm getting confused like
That's
in this.
True.
Actually, we have a co-worker from Algeria. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she speaks actually Arabic very well, but sometimes she is like getting some French words in the middle of the conversation, and she is acting like it's very normal. Yeah, how didn't you understand this? So yeah, it's a little bit confusing. But so is there any country you want to visit in the future?
Like in the future, I want to visit the other Arabic countries. Actually, I want to go to United Arab Emirates and maybe Kuwait. I don't know. I would love to see there. But in specific, I really love to see Brazil. I would love to visit Rio and just see like the landmarks there and meet people there. It's really an exciting place for me. I don't know why. I've never visited anywhere in Americas. But before the US, I think Brazil is more...
like interesting.
Yes, interesting for me. Yeah.
Okay. And then back to the university life. Were you like more socially active with the international students? Were you meeting them there? Were you like participating in any clubs in the universities?
I mean, I was a part in the International Relations Club in our university. And we
also like
the same in the International Relations Club. Yes, and we prepared some events and hosted like academics and everything in our university. But also I loved the incoming Erasmus students. When they visited like in our class, if we had Erasmus students, I was always friends with them because I love to meet them and I would love to even visit them if I go to their country because it's fun to speak with them in another language because, you know, as we were studying, we always spoke Turkish between friends. But I would love to speak to my Erasmus friends in English in the break times and everything. So I think I was loving that.
Great. Was they like happy about studying in Turkey and the Turkish university and everything? Or
yes, I mean, from the Erasmus students, they come from small European cities, most of them. And for them, Istanbul is a big city. I mean, it's too big for them. So sometimes it's better to have a Turkish friend to show around. I mean, they loved living here, but it was a bit overwhelming at first because, you know, when you small European cities, there are not too much traffic, there are not that much people, but Istanbul is always a chaos. But when you're living there, it's normal for us. I mean, I'm used to it. I don't have a problem with any of that. But of course, other people coming from different countries can have a little bit of adjustment problem at first.
Yeah, so you are like getting the adaptation period in any country like very fast for you. I think you're adapting very fast, right?
I think so because it's difficult to visit a city bigger than Istanbul mostly. Yes. I mean, when you go to Paris, it's almost the same as here. I think Rio would be difficult for me, so it's a challenge for me. I want to do that.
Yes. Did you like discover everything in Istanbul? Because I think like the more we discover in Istanbul, the more that we have to discover. Like there is a lot of places we've never been in Istanbul, even though we are like traveling like a lot of cities other than Istanbul and everything. But Istanbul has its own like magic and its own atmosphere. by talking about Istanbul, do you think that the international students or the student life in Istanbul has its own advantages?
I mean, metropolitan, because then you can find everything you're looking for in your corner. And the city is alive for like 24/7. You can go anywhere whenever you want. The public transportation is open all day, all night. So I think it's one of the pros of living in Istanbul. And as I said, it's a metropolitan. I mean, what can't you find in Istanbul? I think there's nothing.
Yeah, true.
So for a student, they can also, Istanbul is an education hub. I mean, there are lots of universities. Some of the most important universities in Turkey and the world take place in Istanbul. The best academics are in Istanbul. And there are always great museums to visit. There are contemporary like exhibits they can visit. So for students, there are lots of things to do all day, every day, at night. So I think it's amazing to live here.
Yes, and like having so many different cultures in Istanbul, making
Exactly.
its own magic. Like there is a Chinese food, Egyptian food,
Yes,
Lebanese
Lebanese
food.
food.
Even I met like some of my friends. She's from Tunis, from Tunisian.
Mhm.
And then I asked her like if there any place in Istanbul to like taste the food from your country.
Mhm.
She said, yeah, there is one in
Yes.
Lalali. Like
Exactly.
like how it's like managed to be so many different, like from different cultures and different food.
Exactly.
It's very interesting.
I mean, it's a mosaic. There are lots of different languages, religions. Everything is together here. And not even Istanbul, like Turkey is like that. It's been like that for hundreds of years. There are lots of different cultures, the languages, the religions, and they all blend together. And I think it's a great thing that everyone can feel included.
Yes, of course. So are you like in terms of the touristic places, have you like been in any city in Turkey that you love the most?
I mean, I loved Gaziantep. By the way,
Gaziantep.
It's we're really sorry about the events taking
Yeah.
place in those 10 cities, and we are all together with them. I
course.
visited Gaziantep 2 or 3 times before, and I really loved the museums there. I loved the culture. I love the food, and I think it's an amazing city.
Yes.
But also, I love Çanakkale. I don't know if you have visited it, but it's an amazing
I've
city.
visited
Yeah.
Çanakkale and I've lived in Gaziantep 4 years.
Amazing, yes.
So yeah,
The
they
both
have
are-
like everything in Gaziantep has its own museum. Even there is
exactly.
a money museum.
Yes.
I was like amazed by this. And there is
Exactly.
also like special discounts for the students. Some of
Yes.
the museums we were able to enter them like for free. If you are
Exactly.
just showing your student ID and then entering it for free.
Yes.
It's actually a very beautiful city. And also
Mhm.
it's an gastronomy city.
Yes.
So they have so many different foods in there.
Yes, and the
Actually,
desserts and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, you gain weight there when you go. So
of course, yeah. Eating baklava all
Yes.
days. It's a little bit like,
Yes.
hard. Okay, and then in your university life, you have had experienced Erasmus, right?
yes.
So where did you go? How was the
Mhm.
life there?
So I went to Erasmus to France, to the Sciences Po Rennes University.
Yeah, Sciences Po Rennes.
So, yes.
Yeah, I have more, like so much difficulties pronouncing this word. But
Yes, it's political science. In French, they reverse the words. It's sciences politique there. So
Okay.
I went there for 6 months. I studied political science, the same department. And I really loved living there because Rennes was a bit smaller city, but it was the Bretagne area. I don't know, you know it, but
Bretagne
in
area,
Fran-
yeah.
it's the capital of there. So it's a bit big, but not as big as here, so you can walk anywhere. And I didn't use public transportation at all when I was there, actually.
You're just
I-
walking to
I walked
get
everywhere. I took the bus once or twice, I think. So I think it's a great place. And when you walk, you see all those beautiful buildings and people living their lives, children. It's really, I don't know, it's a good city. And the history was also really strong there. I loved visiting different museums and different places there. And the studies, I mean, I understand the difficulties of being an international student because, first of all, you have a language problem. I mean, when you go to another country, you don't fully speak the language, even if you speak a little bit. And everyone may not know English. You may not know English that well. Those are the first problems that you have. But also you miss home. I mean, you're not home. You miss your friends, you miss your family. So I think it's important to find good people there and find your peace there for the period that you're living.
Yes. Were you alone there?
I was alone. I mean, I went there by myself, but I had two roommates, one from Italy, one from Belgium. And I love them. I mean, I still see them. I talk to them every day. And I really loved meeting them there. I think I got lucky because you don't get to meet people in your mindset all the time. So I think it was a chance for me, and I love them. But I also met some great people there too. I think it eased the process of adjustment for me.
Yeah, was there any cultural barrier in communication between you and your roommate?
I mean, we all spoke English, but they spoke real good French, and I didn't know French then. So we had a little bit of problem in French, and I have a motto that when I go to a country, I tend to only speak in their own language. I mean, I want to do that. So I went to French-speaking places, and I didn't understand anything. But I loved that because every day, I wrote some words. I learned this. So it was really good for me to visit challenging places for me.
Yes, and also pronouncing French, it's really hard, I think.
Yes.
Because I know a little bit of French, comment ça va, ça va bien, and all this, but this is all, yani.
Exactly.
If I want to go any French restaurant and order food, I would just say hello. Comment ça va? I would say ça va bien, and that's all. I didn't even understand the menu, so
yes,
it's really hard.
Also in France, I mean, in touristic places, everyone speaks English, of course, but in local places, they don't really speak English, or they don't like to speak English. It's understandable. So I translated what I wanted, and I memorized it, and I went in the restaurant, and I always used to do that until I learned the language a little bit. So it's really challenging. And also the culture, even food, dinner hours, everything is different in another country. It's normal, but when you go, it's a bit difficult to adjust at first week, second week. I went to the market, I chose a cheese, for example. I didn't like the taste of it, but I had to eat it because I know that this is the cheese that they like. So all of these are, I think, important to get to know a culture, because I cannot go to a country and do everything that I used to do here. I need to do some local things to learn about them.
Yes, to understand
the
people
belief,
also.
yeah.
True. Do you think Turkish language it's hard to the international students to learn?
I mean, I think Turkish is a really difficult language, to be honest. I'm sorry about that, but if I didn't know Turkish and I wanted to learn it, I think I would have some problems, because the suffixes and everything, it's really complicated. But as much as I've seen from international students, they have amazing talent in language, and they learn it great. I mean, we have some students, I'm always surprised how good they talk. They don't even have an accent. Even you, I didn't hear an accent when you talk, so I think it's amazing.
No, I'm trying to speak Turkish, actually. I'm not fluent, but I'm trying to. Actually, growing up speaking Arabic, and the Arabic language has its own difficulties. It's very difficult. It has a lot of exceptions. It has a lot of grammars. But in Turkish, you just have to say the verb in the rest of the sentence, and then you have add some connections and everything, and transforming the verb to the tense that you want to speak in. So actually, I think it's easy for us as
when you learn the logic, I think it's easy. Yeah. But until you learn it, it's just a whole thing.
It's a massive problem, true. Yeah. Do you advise the students to experience the Erasmus experience?
I think it's a very important thing. I always believe that people should go out of their comfort zone for a little bit, and I think it's really important to live by yourself when you're a student. Because when we get older, of course, we have to go on with our lives. But when you're a student, when you live alone, you're free. And you can do anything. You can sleep at whenever you want. I think it's an amazing experience. And in terms of language, it's the best thing that they can do, because you have to express yourself in another language. That's your only choice. I think it's an amazing thing. And I think if they have the chance, every international student, even the international students, should go to Erasmus to another country as well. I think it's a great chance.
True. I think also it adds to your vision, like listening from someone you are not used to listen to,
Exactly.
and hearing their like vision of life and vision of like situations that you have been in. It's like I think it's really good thing, like in terms of self-development and the thinking process,
Exactly.
like
Expanding
developing
the
thinking
horizon.
process. Yes,
That's
of course.
true.
And then you, after graduating from Marmara University, did you study any master degree?
I didn't, but I'm planning to. Maybe next year.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand what I want to study next, because in political science, I mean, I can choose most of the social departments right now. So I'm thinking which one I should go with in the future. After I graduated, it was the pandemic, so I didn't work for like 8-9 months, I think. And then I started working here, and I think it's been a great 1 year for me. It's been a great first year. Yeah.
Great. I think you have an amazing stuff in Estonian University.
Exactly.
I didn't meet Mr. Ismail, but I've heard a lot about him, like how kind he is, how he's treating people and everything.
Okay.
So I think you are like very lucky to work in
Exactly.
Estonian University.
Yes.
And about Estonian University, like tell us more about the university life. If they have like every university has its own features. So tell us more about Estonian University.
Of course. So Istiniya University is a young university which was founded by the biggest private healthcare group in Turkey and the Balkans. And we have like an experience of more than 25 years in the healthcare sector. So because of that experience, our university is really strong in health-based programs. But because we are experienced in that area, it doesn't mean that the other departments are not as strong, because we are improving really fast. And we have, I think, 9 faculties, 1 institute of graduate degree, and 2 vocational schools. And we have more than 100 programs. And these programs include engineering programs, social sciences, communication, lots of different programs. But of course, as I've said, because of that experience in the healthcare sector, we are really like strong in medicine, pharmacy, and dentistry departments, the other healthcare, nursing, physiotherapy and rehabilitation. We have lots of departments, and we're really proud of that, because even, as I said, even if we are a young university, we are always improving ourselves, opening new departments. And we have, I don't know if you have visited our university before,
Yes.
but we have lots of labs in everything that you can think of. I mean, robotics labs and other health labs. There are amazing things that I see every day, like in the university.
Great.
When I go, what's this? And I think it's great.
Good. So as a student, you've studied in Marmara University, and you also studied in this Sciences Po Rennes. Okay.
Yes.
And this university in France, and also you visited like Lunix University in Luxembourg,
Yes.
I think. So like experiencing different universities, what do you think about like the thing that's making Estonian University like different more than the other universities in Turkey?
I mean, I think for private universities there's a great advantage in terms of how to say it. There are lots of things that students can, the university offers to students. In public universities, of course, there are great opportunities, but in private universities, there are always more labs, as I said, more materials, more chances to go abroad. So I think it's a pro. And for Istiniya University, as I said, we have great academic members. They are the best in their area. They're outstanding academics, so I can say that. Also, the place, I mean, it's in Istanbul. It's the heart of Istanbul. It's in a central location. Students can go there easily, and like around the campus is always lively. Like you can go everywhere. You can go shopping, go to great restaurants. And as I said, we always offer support to our students in every area. I mean, even if they have personal problems, we're always here to listen. We're always here to help, because, as I said, it's for all of our students. But for international students, we know about their problems. We've all been international students in sometime in our office, and we know about their problems. So we want to support them, we want to help them, we listen, and we always try to assist. So I think it's really important to be felt included and understood when you're an international student. That's what we're always trying to do. We are trying to be reachable 24 hours all the time to our students, because we know that things are urgent. Like for them, when you have a problem with your life, you want to be you want to reach to someone at that moment
to hear you.
Yes, because you want to solve that problem. It's the most important thing in your life at that moment. We understand that, and we want to be able to help everyone.
Cool. And about the student life in the campus, do you have any activities are you doing? Do you have any social clubs, etc.?
I think our university offers more than 100 clubs, as much as I know, and there are different things to explore other than their studies. I mean, we have gastronomy clubs, music clubs, sports, even sailing club, robotics clubs. We have lots of different students clubs, and also at the campus we always make events. Yesterday we had a Women's Day event, and yes, our university choir sang a few songs there, and it was amazing to see. I mean, we don't see them work when they practice, but when they sing there, I see that they've been practicing this for a long time. It's amazing. I mean, and we had so much international students in the choir, so we were proud. Yes, I took this registration. He had a good voice, so you're really proud of your students there. And I think in terms of sports, I'm not really much of a sports person myself, but I think it's a great thing to explore and discover that you have talents that you don't know about. So I think university is a good place for that. You can attend a club and you can discover something that you didn't know about yourself. So at our university, it's a good place to explore about yourself other than your studies.
True, because this is what is remaining after university.
Exactly.
I graduated from the university, and then all I remember about the university is my friend, the events that I've participated in, the social clubs and everything. This is the memories is remaining after the university life. So exactly. I think so. They have to experience more of the social life in the university more than studying, and also they have to learn everything about their studying to be a special person after graduating, because there's a lot of people who are studying the same major as them.
Exactly.
So they have to be different after graduating.
Yes, it's also an incentive to study more, actually, because when you meet someone from your department in a club, you talk about your studies, you talk about your professor, something, and it leads you to talk about your lesson. You want to study with them or something like that. I think it's great to meet people from your department and from other departments to see the differences, so talk about your common problems. I think they need to, all the students need to attend lots of student clubs, more than one, more than two, because it improves people studying in clubs.
And by being a social person, how did you manage being social and meeting friends, and also at the same time studying your lessons?
I think I didn't sleep as much as I wanted to, and I still don't. I have I sleep 7 hours at most, because I want to do something with my free time other than sleeping. After I come from work, I want to do something. I want to go out or watch something before I sleep, because that makes me feel good. So I think while studying, I used to do that. I came from school, I went out, and then I slept for 6 hours and went back to school. So it's a bit difficult to arrange the
finding the balance
is difficult. But I was a hard worker, I think. I used to study before the exams. So it wasn't that much difficult for me in the exam week. But of course, you need to give up a little bit of your sleep to manage everything.
Yes, every semester we're telling ourselves that this is my semester.
Exactly.
I will study this semester too. Like I will work like every day. After like getting out from the lectures, I will study for 1 hour, and then everything will be okay. And then the exams comes. I don't know anything about the subjects.
Exactly.
I have to study, and then we are starting like a studying camp. It's for
In the last
2 weeks
2 days,
before the
yeah.
exams. Yeah, and like start to study, and we are passing the exams by like. Because our mothers loves us, I think. This is the reason.
That's
because
true,
there
but
is no
also it was I think the last 2 hours before the exam is the time that I learned the most, because there's one friend that gives you the most important thing to know,
Yes.
and you learn that, and then at the exam, yes, I just learned it 2 hours ago.
Yeah, true.
So-
Like most of us are searching about our nerd friend who is taking
Exactly.
notes and like summarizing everything, and then we take
Yes.
this, we memorize it, and then we enter the exam,
Exactly.
and it's perfect. True. Back to Estonian University, do you have like any Erasmus students there, or do you have Erasmus
Mhm.
exchange program?
Yes, I mean we have both incoming and outgoing students.
You have incoming also.
Incoming also,
Okay.
yes, from lots of different countries. As Istiniya University, we have like agreements with, I think, most of the countries in Europe, except for the UK and Switzerland because of the political things that they're not in
Yes.
the EU anymore. But other than that, we have lots of agreements, and there are lots of students coming and going. Our students are really excited to go to Erasmus. We had lots of applications this year, and I think it's a great thing because the more students that want to go, happier we are. I mean, we want all of our students to experience this. So all the time we always encourage them to apply for it. And I think, yeah, this semester we also had some incoming students from different countries, Romania, France. We have lots of students. And our office also deals with the Erasmus mobility programs as the international office. So it's really exciting to see the new students here for this semester.
Could you give us a little of information about the fees of the departments and what departments do you have in the university?
Of course. I mean, we have, as I said, 9 faculties. We have pharmacy, medicine, and dentistry faculties, which are, I think, the highest tuition fees in terms of compared to other ones. Other than that, we have health science, faculty of health sciences, faculty of communication, faculty of architecture and fine arts. What else? Faculty of engineering. Tuition fees really differ a lot in our university, but I can say that for medicine, it's between 19,440 and 23,760. It depends on the language, and for like engineering departments, it's about 5,700 between 6,500. So in general, it's between 5,000 up to 20,000. I mean, depending on the department and the language of instruction. And we have lots of departments in English and in Turkish. International students mostly like choose English departments, of course, but we have amazing Turkish-speaking students as well. So, and we have Turkish prep programs and English prep programs for students who wish to learn Turkish before start studying. So that's also a great thing for them. I think they choose Turkish programs when they choose it. They can study prep here and then start their department easier and continue easier.
Yes.
And other than that, we have vocational schools and health vocational school. Their fees is for vocational school, it's $2,592, and for health vocational schools, it's $3,240.
Okay.
And other than that, we have an institute, as I said. At our institute, we have social science, and health sciences departments. And in those areas, we have PhD programs and master's programs. For our PhD programs, the fee is the same for each of them. It's $10,800. And for our master's programs, the master program with thesis is $5,400, and non-thesis programs are $4,860.
Yes, and also for like further information or any updates in the
Of course.
thesis, they can like check your
Visit our
website.
website, yes,
Yeah,
of
true.
course.
But as an international student, how can I apply to university?
I mean, application is really easy on our for our university, and we always respond really quickly. I think you may know that because you can apply from our website, and you can apply, of course, with agencies such as Turkey Campus, our good partners. And after you apply, it directly comes to our system, and we try to finish our applications by the end of each day. So you will 100% get a response at the same day or the other day. I can assure you that, in case you're wondering how long it takes. If it's the weekend or something, of course, it takes up to 3 working days, but it's never like that. We are always trying to respond quickly to each application, because we know the students are really excited when they're applying, and they want an answer right away, like, am I going to be accepted or not? So we try to respond really quick for that reason.
True, and we are also we have to know what is the advantage of applying with agency like Turkey Campus.
I mean, I think it's easier to prepare the documents and know how to apply exactly, because sometimes if the student studied in Turkey, for example, we ask for some additional documents, or if an international student has Turkish nationality, we ask for additional documents, and you know that better than a student. So it may be easier to prepare the documents and apply with the right documents to not lose any time. So I think that is the most important thing for us. Yeah.
Okay. So are you advising the international students to come to Turkey and experience that same experience in Turkey?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think everyone who visited Turkey at some point would agree that we are hospitable people. I mean, we love guests every time. Like, if some stranger comes to our home, we are always like, hey, welcome, what can I offer you? So for international students, it's the same. I mean, we are always excited to welcome international students here, because we are excited to learn about them, and we know that they will enrich us. I mean, a student, after they learn and study here, they will enrich our country and their own country, and of course they will improve themselves. But for us, it's always great to have much more cultures in our university, lots of different nationalities blending together, and everyone feels included, everyone feels understood. It's really important for us, and I can assure that Turkey is the great place for that, because we are all living together in peace and everything is great. I mean, I don't know if, of course, other countries I don't have anything against, but in Turkey it's one place that everyone can be accepted. There are no hard thoughts and any nationality here.
Any berries, judgments or anything.
There's anything, no judgments. Everyone is welcomed. We are so happy with everyone being here. I mean, I think in the last year I've learned so much about other cultures than I've learned in my life in 20 years. So it's amazing. And in Turkey, as I said before, especially in Istanbul, it's an amazing place to live for students, because it's exciting. I mean, there are lots of things to do. If you start discovering, you cannot finish everything in a year. So for students, it's really important. I think if when they come here, whatever they're studying, for 4 years, 5 years, they need to discover everything here, because it's a big country, it's a big city, and there are lots of things to discover.
Yes, graduating from Turkey, in your opinion, does it have any advantages?
I mean, as for our university is recognized in European Union everywhere, and we give the same diploma as the European Union, so they can of course work at other countries easily. And for other countries as well, we have ongoing recognition processes. We have lots of recognized countries as well. I think it's a good chance to work in Turkey and in other countries. And when I think about our university, from graduating our university, why is it an advantage? Because, as I said, we are a part of a private healthcare group in Turkey, and we have lots of hospitals around Turkey and in other countries. So for our graduates, we always prioritize our graduates while hiring in our hospitals. And don't think about only medicine or nursing. We also need physiotherapists or graduates of international relations, because in a hospital there's always the management stuff as well. there's health management graduates. We always prioritize our own graduates. I think it's a pro. And for Turkey in general, we have a big population. We have lots of job opportunities, and for international students, of course, I'm not only focusing on the job opportunities, but it's the main concern of everyone, of course. When they're studying, they need to find a job in the end. And I think Turkey offers lots of job opportunities, and for our university, we also have that option
great.
as well. Yeah.
In the end of our episode, I just want to imagine Shaima. She's a student who is like studying her high school in some country outside Turkey, abroad Turkey, and then Shaima is like considering the decision of coming to Turkey and studying in Turkey. Do you want to say any message or anything to her?
Let me just think about that. I mean, if you're thinking about coming to Turkey, as I may have repeated myself a bit, but Turkey is an inclusive country. Turkey is an understanding country, and we are always going through a lot, and we understand people's struggles. I mean, for us, every student, every person who comes to our country is a plus. Everyone is just adding something to our culture, adding something to our knowledge. So if you are thinking about coming to Turkey, I don't think anyone should ever hesitate, because we are always welcoming all of you, and I'm promising as a person here that we will understand everything that you are going through. Okay.
Thank you so much for like accepting our invitation and coming to here. We were so honored to have you here in our podcast. I think this is like one of the most episodes that I love about, because like you are talking passionately about your like major department, your university, your experiences. So I think this is like a very good experience and very good like episodes for the students to listen. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for listening. This was our podcast episode today. Like follow us to learn more, and say us in the comments like if you want us to have any special guests or speak in a specific subject. Thank you.
Thank you.